Hello everyone, so again I'm here for another tutorial. This is Enchanted Forest, the third level of the 80% category, as well as the third level of the first world. I hope I said that right. Good enough. This is one of the shortest levels in the run. This run I'm about to show you is my 49-second-ish run. I believe this is about 49 seconds. About 49 seconds. It's less than a minute long, and there's 18 seeds that you grab here. Honestly, this is a very straightforward level, but it's also kind of technical. You gotta land your jumps. The jumps here can be quite picky. You need to know what jumps you need to make, because there's not really many other ways to do them. So yeah, learn your jumps. Most of these are just jump sequences. This first one is a bit tricky, and I'll make sure I explain this in a way that makes sense. So, the spacing I'm doing here will allow me to get up to that cliff here. Let me use my cursor. So I get up to this cliff here without grabbing the rope or grabbing the cliff. I didn't do a cliff grab. This jump here is pretty picky. There is a consistent setup I've found that works for me, but the timing is pretty strict, because if you're too late on the jump, you will cliff grab here. If you're too early, you'll be higher on the incline here, and you'll grab the rope, which is slower. So the setup begins at the very start. I start off with a dash jump or spin jump. Not a full hop, it's just a short hop spin jump. Land immediately, I do a double spin through, and after the second spin, I jump as soon as I can with a full hop. And I land while holding down. I delay my roll jump slightly. I don't roll jump immediately on purpose. I jump about there, and I make it up without doing a cliff grab or grabbing the rope. That is the fastest way to do that section. Up here, I don't spin immediately because I'm going uphill. I'm waiting until I reach these flowers, and because these flowers are here, I'm able to do a double spin. What I do is, in terms of my spacing anyway, my spacing is as such. My first spin will take me up to about here, and my second spin will start around here where the flat ground starts. And that will allow me to not carry the slow speed I have with my first spin going uphill, and my second spin will be starting around here, which is on more flat ground, which will not be slow. Okay. Nothing too complex here. I did have a slight hover here, and it's required. You need to do the hover. Okay, so you can see this upward slope here on this branch. You don't want to land on this. You really don't want to land on this. You want to land more about here. That is the optimal place to land, and one air kick will not make you will most likely not allow you to reach there. So adding a very, very slight hover to the end of your air kick will allow you to reach this part of the branch. And once you do reach it, you do a full hop spin jump, and you should make it through this gap without hitting this branch or colliding with the tip of this branch. You just slip right through. All right. Again, just like Creepy Castle, I space my wall jumps in a way where I wall jump at the very low part here by jumping in really low, and then I do full hop wall jumps. Alright, here, I don't ground pound here because I already start falling before I even get to a place where I can ground pound. So ground pounding stalls you in the air for a bit. If it didn't do that, this would be faster, but since ground pound does stall you in the air, it's actually slower, even though it feels like it would be faster. I'm already starting to fall, and you reach terminal velocity really quick in this game, so it's best to just don't ground pound because it stalls you in the air. It ends up being slower. For this jump here, it is important that you jump when you're off the ground. In this game, you're able to jump off the ground slightly. There's like a buffer period where the game allows you to jump while you're still in the air when you run off a cliff. You want to do it about here, because if you jump while you're still actually on the ground, you will not reach this rope here, and you actually want to make sure you grab this rope, because that's the quickest way to navigate this part, this area of the level. If you jump too early, you won't make the jump, basically. That's basically what I'm saying. And yeah, the air attack there is required. Here, nothing too fancy. I roll jump off the branch, because it's a downward slope, so it's slightly faster to just roll jump off of it. And I do a corner ground pound. I don't think I ever went over this in my ground pound video, which I probably should have, as well as going over like flops and stuff, but that's not relevant to this level. This ground pound is initiated right at the corner of this ledge. And if you do it just right, you will get a ground pound that not only takes you straight down, like you gain slight horizontal speed as well if you get the corner. You're basically ricocheting off of the corner. As you can see, like I didn't go straight down, I went diagonally down. That's slightly faster. It's good to go for it. If you miss it, it's not a big deal. It only saves a couple frames. It's good to go for this. It's generally safe, but if you do it too early, you will end up ground pounding on the platform, and that will waste time. Yeah, be careful. For this section, it's important not to go too fast, because you want to... oh, I should actually go over this first. So you see this batch of flowers? These are butterflies. This patch of butterflies. I guess that's a way of saying it. These butterflies. These are actually triggers. They serve the purpose of being triggers, and we saw them once on I think only one time on the previous level, Creepy Castle, and we saw them a few times already in this level. These butterflies are triggers, as surprising as that sounds. When these butterflies are triggered, when you get close to them, it will trigger this platform to start moving up and down. So in this situation, you want to make sure you hit these as soon as possible. You don't want to jump over them. You want to make sure you hit these as soon as you possibly can. And the reason being is if you don't, if you're late on them, this thing will close you off. You will not be able to get past this if you trigger them late. And even if you do get it as soon as possible, you still have to make sure you don't go too fast here, because if you go too fast, you will slam into this and you have to ruin your spacing. And the spacing is important here to make sure you land this jump perfectly, because what I'm about to do here is I roll jump up this wall. I climb up this wall. You see like how Globox did the climbing animation. I roll jump and I climb up the wall. Because I still have vertical momentum, he climbs up of it. So I get up to top, get up to apex of my roll jump, and then I wall jump off of that platform. And that will allow me to cliff grab right here. That is the fastest way to clear that section. If you don't do that roll jump and you mess up your spacing, you will have to do an air kick stall and wait for that platform, which is a lot slower. So it's good. It's really good to make sure that you get proper jump sequence spacing to allow you to get a roll jump off. There you go. So this section right here is kind of it's kind of janky. So again, these butterflies are back. When you trigger these butterflies, it will trigger this to peel down into a ramp. And what I do is I basically just hug the wall. I hug the wall until it's done peeling down, and then I spin jump off of it. Like, I don't spin jump immediately. I wait until it's at a point where it's actually a serviceable downward slope. It also helps that this is you can see all these bubbles here. This makes the surface slippery, and that actually helps you gain more speed as well. So yeah, it's good to take advantage of this slope here. This jump can be a bit tricky to execute properly. It looks simple, but it can be a bit tricky. First of all, you want to make sure you actually have proper speed. You want to make sure you're moving at full speed. And you see I turn around here. That's so I don't run into this thing here when I run into these butterflies. That triggers it triggers these moving platforms and opens up. I slow myself down so that I don't run into this. And I just do a normal jump through. When you break this teensy, your spin is refreshed, so you can immediately spin to the right. So, this part is also a bit janky, and also it's picky about your positioning with these butterflies, for whatever reason. So, it's very, very important that you jump way over these butterflies. You do not want to go down low, because for whatever reason, if you go down here and touch them low, this branch will not go down. Yeah, it will not go down, which is what we want. We want it to go down, but if you touch it low, it will go up, and that will make it harder to grab this teensy right here. So when you jump over it, instead of going up, it will go down, which will come into play by allowing you to grab this teensy a lot earlier. And I'll show you how in just a second. So right as you jump over, you want to just jump on this teensy, and you want to wait just a second. Not literally a second, you want to wait just a few frames, because as you saw, that teensy cage down here was moving on a cycle, like it was moving around, and it's always the same thing every time. Yeah, you just want to wait just a few frames. And once you've done that, you just spin, and then you do a roll attack. And once you reach the end of this branch, you will meet the teensy, as you can see. your spin attack will break that cage through the branch. This platforming bit can be a bit tricky. Usually I improvise this section because of how weird it is, but it's very important that you do not run into these small little ledges here, which is all over the place in this section. This ledge you don't want to get snapped on, and you don't want to get snapped on this ledge. They are tricky to avoid sometimes. So just make sure you aren't spinning close to these ledges, because if you're spinning here, you're guaranteed to just get caught by this. So yeah, be careful. And just like in Creepy Castle I fucked this up, but this there's a lot of room in open space, so it's easy to not fuck this up. This is the water boost. You ground pound into the water. Let me rewind. And you immediately spin as you enter the water. That will carry your ground pound speed into the water and change the angle, like I discussed at Creepy Castle. You just grab the TNC, exit the water, and you're good to go. So yeah, that was a pretty simple review. It is a short level after all. It's actually one of the shortest levels in the game, if not the shortest. I don't think there's any other levels that are faster. Yeah, I think that's the fastest level. Sounds about right. Alright, anyways. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something. I will be ending the stream, so I don't have another session planned right now as I'm recording this. But yeah, I am streaming this. If you guys don't know, I have the chat up here, and there's no one here at the moment. Maybe I should have told you guys when I stream. I might not stream tomorrow, we'll see, but I usually start streaming around 4:30-ish Pacific time. That's usually when I stream. Pacific time, 4:30 p.m. So yeah, that's that. Again, if you do catch one of my streams, the chat will be up there, and you will be able to ask me questions as I record these sessions. And I also recorded my grinding session when I did this level. This recording that you saw was done right before we got to this review, and that was also done on stream when I grinded this level out. So yeah, go to twitch.tv/DJTHED, and that's where you can find me. So yeah, anyways, that's that. I will see you guys next time.